like it? How about this one?
That I didn't see coming.
Hello and welcome to Game On Online Gaming Radio. Today is Monday. I don't know the date because we're a week off.
27th, I believe.
Monday the 26th of November 2012. And I'm getting an echo.
So I'm a day off.
There we go. Fix my echo. Alright. We got a good show. Got 2 weeks worth of stuff here because we kind of skipped last week's show. You can join us in our IRC hosted by globalgamers.net and chat with us live by heading over to www.onlinegamingradio.com and clicking on the chat live button in the top right corner. That'll open a Mibit IRC client and take you right to us. You can also reach us by email with your questions, comments, and suggestions. I'm Trueflight at onlinegamingradio.com.
He's going to make me say it.
Yes, I am.
Zanadi at onlinegamingradio.com.
She got it right. Woo!
I get it right like 2 out of 5 times.
2 out of 5?
Why lie about it?
This is true. It's episode 5, I believe, this week, and it's the first time she's gotten it right.
Now, after I trip over it 6 or 7 times, I get it. So, somehow the statistics come out 2 to 5.
Uh-huh. What was that word again?
I'm not repeating it.
This is episode 5.
I don't keep track.
I do.
All my days blur altogether anyway.
This was going to be our holiday episode. It's going to be...
We're in between holidays.
Yeah. We had a bunch of holiday events in-game. We had a live event in Guild Wars 2. Planetside 2 beta ended and actually launched last Tuesday. Bunch of other things on here. Where do you want to start?
The beginning generally tends to be a good place to start.
You know how I take notes. I have a scrap of paper on my desk.
I can't read your notes, which is why you have the notes.
Whenever I think of something, I just write it down, so by the end of the week...
And it does not help for him to give me a copy of the notes, because I can't...
I can't even read them.
No, I'm pretty sure his handwriting is more like a gorilla writing with its toes.
I'm not sure if I should take offense to that or not.
And I think you've taught our son to do it, too. His is legible, it's just really big.
Yeah, see, I write small, it's
a guy thing.
It's code. Only I can read it.
No, because you can't even read it.
I was supposed to be a doctor. That's my excuse.
Ugh.
Well, see, they said the same thing in Guild.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that doctors actually have been forced to clean up their handwriting.
TOR.
Why is it
what?
that doctors have such bad handwriting? Seriously. Why? Is it some, law that they must have bad handwriting?
I think it's because they're so busy doing other, and I said that in Says instead of Guild.
Busy. As I'm sitting in the waiting room waiting for 2 hours to go into the doctor's office.
I'm talking about when they're going through school. They're too busy learning school, taking all their different courses and things, that handwriting is not one of them. Besides, who writes anymore?
Yeah, really, my doctor phones in most of my stuff.
Our schools aren't even teaching cursive handwriting anymore. They teach keyboarding instead.
Yep. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, to pass to be a doctor, nope, you fail. You have to be a nurse. Your handwriting is too good.
I want to know why nurses get paid so little. Because they do all the work. You ever notice that?
For the same reason I do.
Well, you go to the doctor's office, right? They tell you to wait. Finally, the nurse comes and gets you, takes you to a room, puts you in the room, takes your vitals, writes everything down, asks you all the questions. They leave. Doctor comes in, looks at you for 2 minutes, talks to you, walks out. Nurse comes back in, finishes all the things, takes the blood if you need it, gives you the medication if you need it, takes you to the receptionist, schedules your next appointment, gives you your prescriptions, and then you...
Well, see now...
But the doctor gets paid 10 times more than the nurse who did all the work.
Yeah, but... Well, I go to the doctor every 2 months. And how many do I see in a week?
Are we talking about the...
doctors and nurses.
The mental doctors or just the physical ones?
I only need the mental ones for you, dear.
Well, yeah.
No, in one visit every 2 months, I think I see... Well, let's see. Besides the actual doctor, I think I see 4 other practitioners.
Yet you get 8 bills.
Yeah, really.
Anyway, we're supposed to be talking about gaming.
Let's become a game.
Let's start with Guild Wars 2, since that's your main focus.
It's my forte.
Your forte. We had a live event, the first ever. Well, no, that's not true. They had a Halloween one.
Yep, yeah, the Halloween.
But aside from a holiday event, this was the first live add-on content.
Mm-hmm.
And we got a new zone. We got a new dungeon. And...
I've not been in the dungeon yet.
Your favorite... Oh, let's see. Let me actually find it. I have it written down here. It was called the Lost Shores Live Event.
Not totally thrilled with that.
It was a limited time thing. Started on the 16th, ran through the 18th. The first day, I believe the zone opened. The second day, the dungeon opened. And then on the third day, a one-time event, a boss spawned and started attacking. And it was only up until it was killed. And then it was over. And it's a one-time, as they put it, world-changing event. And of course, for those of us who were off doing something or at work or whatnot, never even got to see it.
The thing that upsets me about that is, at least with the Halloween event, it was all day. It was a dungeon you went into. The Mad King, Tomb of the Mad King was open all day long. Granted, it was one day, but it was all day long. Killing this monster that spawned for the third day event lasted 3 hours. That was it. If you weren't home or online and participating within those 3 hours, you missed the entire thing, which we in fact did.
Yeah,
we had other things we had to get done. I think it's one thing if it's an all-day thing. It's one day. But to make an event that is literally once in the game-changing, and only 3 hours long, it upsets me.
See, it kind of reminds me of an EverQuest 2, and we missed that as well because it was when we were taking our break from EverQuest 2. But there was a time when they put when they repaired the spires to the overworld there.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a time when those were all destroyed, and they did a quest where you had to gather materials and help rebuild them. And when you finished them and they were completed, a dragon spawned, and it was a one-time world event in EverQuest, and there was a huge ordeal over that as well. And it spawned once, and when it was killed, the people who were there got a title, and that was it for that.
I realize that the world moves and changes and things like this happen. But, for those of us who can't be here all the time, it's almost as if we're being punished for not being able to be here. And I just don't care for that. If I don't want to log in for an entire day, that's my choice to miss the event. But if I have to be home at a certain time to make sure that I get to participate in killing this one mob.
It starts to become more like a job than a game. It's like raiding in EQ1 or EQOA. You get the phone call at 4 o'clock in the morning. Hey, this mob's up. We gotta go kill it.
Yeah.
They did have a survey that was sent around a few days after the event.
You said you got that. I did not.
I don't know how they decided who got those or what, or if you just missed your email.
Very well could be.
But yeah, it was an email from the company with a bunch of questions, a little survey to fill out. And it asked you about, what you thought about the event, what you thought about the zones, what you thought about the one-time event. And of course, I put on there that I wouldn't know. So, as much as I think it's a cool idea in a game like this that takes place, people are off in the real world doing other things, it just doesn't work.
More or less, I think they're asking us to be chained to our game. And we're not. It's a nice thought that everybody has time to just sit and play all the time. That's all they do. The stereotypical, that's, gamer, but...
Yeah, I mean, they did do it on a Sunday, but on the same event,
They did it on a Sunday in the middle of the afternoon. It wasn't even an evening.
So...
I was out. I had the day off, but I was out getting things done that I can't get done during the week because I work all week. So it was more or less I was at work.
Now, aside from that, I haven't done the dungeon myself yet either, but the actual new zone, I'm actually in there right now. I've logged out in there. I've been playing a different character, so I'm still sitting here. But the new creatures are kind of cool. The new zone's kind of cool.
Is it still leveling you to 80?
I was 80 when I came in here, so I don't know. I would have to check.
I'm curious about that
because I can find some other people running around.
For the event, the zone is set at 80, and as you went into the zone, they were auto mentoring you up.
Trying to catch up to some people, but no, they're all level 80, so I can't tell. If I can run into somebody who's not level 80, I'll be able to tell you.
I could run over there with my girl who's not 80.
But anyway, yeah, the zone's cool. The new creatures are cool. I can't exactly describe them. They're like a cross between a spider and a crab.
Yeah, they were funky.
Pretty cool, though. They have a lot of hit points. The dungeon I haven't got a chance to yet, but I'm hearing it's pretty cool, so... They're talking about Rift in the in-game channel here. That they did similar event where things spawned too much over a number of days and people had an uproar, so they switched to a single event. Or am I misreading that?
No, they had an uproar because it was a single event. So they spawned it a few times over the next few days.
Gotcha. Kirel is saying that you no longer mentor up when you come into the zone. It stopped on Monday.
That's what I thought.
What else did we have? I had some things on Guild Wars 2. Silly little things that just bother me because I'm me. One of them is their, what's the name of it? The Black Lion Trading Company.
Mm-hmm.
Been a few things in there that have been annoying me. One of which is in their little, when you're looking for something, their little filter system that you can use.
Oh, it needs a class.
It does not have enough options.
And honestly, it wouldn't take much. I mean, you don't have to separate out between all the classes. You just need to separate out between light, medium, and
yeah.
Class,
but
just separate out the types of armor.
Yeah, class alone would make it amazingly better. Yeah, right now you can search by category, which is like armor or weapon, and then subcategory, which gives you a little bit more options over what type. Like if you say armor, your sub-armor, or subcategory for armor is aquatic helmet, which is your underwater breathing thing. boots, coat, gloves, helm, legs, and shoulders. And then the only other option you get is rarity and level.
Yep.
Which is fine, but when I'm searching for something for my ranger and I go in there, I get every single chest armor within, the level range I set. It's cool to compare, but I really don't need to be looking at all the plate, heavy plate armor when I can't wear it. I don't need to be looking at the cloth caster armor when I can't wear it.
Yep. It's annoying. The only thing I could say is thankfully there aren't 3 quadrillion things on the market. They have at least, which I find a very neat feature, you can have thousands of the same item and they're only listed once.
It depends on price.
Right.
But yeah, everybody
but
who has...
most of them are glommed together as one.
Yep.
And when one sells at the lowest price, the next highest price just pops up in its place.
Yep. So
I do like that feature.
Unlike EQ2, when you look at the market and you see 5,000 of the same item listed, in this you will actually see one thing listed, and then it says there are 5,000 of them available.
Yeah, Rellen's right, though. You're still searching through 4 or 5 pages of gear, generally.
Being able to filter down would still be nice.
And I want to know...
Excuse me.
Has anyone found anything besides 1 or 2 quested pieces that goes in the back slot?
I think the only ones you can get by the back slot are quested pieces.
But you get them early on, and
no, you get one early on and you get one really late.
All right. Well, you know what? Let me go look at mine right now.
That's why I was just bringing up mine. If I can find the right button. There it is.
She does have one at level 80.
Yep, I got a level 80 one.
But my level...
And even the level 80 one has pretty lame stats for being level 80.
Yeah, I think my level 30 or whatnot is... And it has a check button to view. So you could see it on your back or not.
Anything.
And it doesn't do anything.
Maybe since there's only a handful of them in game, somebody didn't give them graphics. It's the only thing I can think of.
Then why go to the effort of having the checkbox on them to show?
Maybe it's something they're going to add later.
Or maybe it's going to take us complaining about it for them to fix it.
Could be. But yeah, even the level 81, which is a masterwork, mine has 13 power, 18 precision, and 13 condition damage. I have a level 75 ring that's got double to triple those stats. So, that's pretty lame.
Yeah, they are pretty bad.
I did get some really cool exquisite armor, and now I look like a ninja. I have one pant leg. The other one has Chinese stars buckled to my shoes.
I apparently haven't seen you in a while.
And if I put my helmet on, I look like a Power Ranger. I refuse to wear my helmet in public.
Can I paint you pink?
No.
Because, then you could be the pink Power Ranger.
Hey, the Pink Ranger was hot. Anyway. Stop it, you're peeking the microphone, you're cracking. What else do we have? I think that was it of my sparse Guild Wars 2 notes. I was a little put off by the event, so I went half a week without really playing.
I'm gonna sneak in at night.
You don't know my password.
I'll figure it out. I don't
All right.
paint him pink.
If anybody from...
It's not like you can't put this... There, changes
I was gonna say, if anybody from ArenaNet's listening, she's plotting to hack into my account, which I'm pretty sure is against the EULA. You might have to ban her account.
That'll probably help me.
This one's a little late, but I think it's still going on, but probably only today, because these notes were for last week's show. That didn't happen. But NewEgg was doing a Black Friday sale for the whole weekend, and they're still doing a Cyber Monday thing today. So if you're looking for any gaming supplies, new keyboards, new mice, heck, they even sell some games there. You might want to check that out. They were giving away coupons and stuff too. I had a couple, but didn't get to use them. We found other deals other places.
Yes, I was dragged out for Black Friday shopping this year.
It's okay. You didn't go out on Friday.
It was still terrible, and if you recall, I didn't get home until Friday.
She went Black Thursday shopping.
Which I was not thrilled about. Kind of against my will.
Against your will.
Yeah, well, and and as my mother and my aunt dragged me out, I started off the night by telling them there's a reason that I don't do this shopping. I avoid it at all costs. I have for many, many years. And by the time we got home, now mind you, I got home after midnight and I had to be at work about 2 hours earlier than usual. So, like 6, 7 a.m. Was very unthrilled by this. I ended the night by proving the point as we stood in line for 2 hours. I got my exercise, that's for sure. I did not have to go to the gym. I was not thrilled. And within 2 seconds, nothing that we had originally gone for was even there. So
I was laughing at you. I actually know most of the stores around here that have the big Black Friday sales. I used to work at a Toys R Us for years. And one of the big things, and it happened there too, is that they never get in what they're supposed to get in for their Black Friday sales. So they'll have a big thing was last year. Walmart here was having a thing where they were giving away laptops if you purchased over so much amount, and they were supposed to get a couple hundred of these in. They only ended up getting about 20 of them in, and all of those were reserved by employees before the store even opened. So when it came time to give them out, they didn't have any to give out. And then everybody got mad, and violence ensued.
yeah, I only heard of one riot, so you don't hear of many riots online, so
Exactly.
shopping online, so that's about where I'd like to do my shopping.
Oh, let's see. What else do I have on my list? Planetside 2. I was in their beta. I participated for a couple weeks and was all excited because I had a couple friends who were interested, and they gave me 5 beta keys. And like 2 days after they gave me the beta keys, before my friends even got to use them because they expired, they shut the beta down. And then on Tuesday of last week, 11/20, the game went live. So it was kind of neat they gave out the keys, but they waited a little too long to do it, I think. You have no idea what I'm talking about.
Nope.
I like the game. It's a lot of fun.
You talking about it here there.
It's a lot of fun. It looks like it has tons of potential. The problem they're having right now is they're getting more players than they expected. So they've been having some stability issues. And they're doing a good job of keeping up on it and taking care of them as they arise, but every day I see posts on Twitter from good old Smedley saying, oh, this is broke, we're fixing it, this is broke, we're fixing it, and it kind of makes you wonder if it wasn't ready to go live yet.
I think a lot of games that tend to be pushed are not ready for live.
Yeah, I think everybody's so worried that they said, oh, well, we said it was coming out on this date, and that's when it's coming out, and they're not.
I would rather see content push back and wait a little longer for it and have it right than have to deal with the fact that it doesn't work properly.
I think the big thing is I wouldn't mind it being delayed as long as they tell you why. A lot of times when things get delayed, they don't give anybody a reason, and then everybody gets mad. And if you tell them, hey, this isn't ready yet, and we're not going to launch it because it's not ready yet.
I think that you're still going to have people who are going to get mad. They're still going to get upset. But you know what? I don't think they're going to get nearly as upset as if you go ahead and release it and you give them a broken toy. No child wants a broken toy.
You just ask anybody who tried to play Diablo 3 on launch day.
You're better off not giving them the toy at all and making them wait for it than you are giving them one that's broken that they can't play with.
Yeah, and then having to take it back.
Yeah, and then taking it back anyway.
So, I don't know. It looks really cool. I'm definitely going to start playing more. I've been kind of slacking off until I heard better things about the stability. That, and it's not something you can really play solo. You really need other people to go with, so I gotta get some more friends who are out playing. That said, though, I did participate in the beta, and the last couple weeks of the beta were really cool. And they've made a few changes to some of the things that we complained about, so good to know. What else do we got on here? Oh, I got a letter from Wil Wheaton from Tabletop.
I remember that. You read that, yes.
Yep, I sent them a letter a few weeks ago about a game that we play. We've been playing for a long time now, called Zombies. I think we've talked about it on the show even. And told them they should check it out for one of their episodes, and got a letter back saying that they'll look into it. They're pretty booked up for this season, but there's a good chance it'll be on next season, so keep an eye out for that.
You know, pardon my French about it, but Wil Wheaton comes off as a major asshole.
No, he used to. Now he comes off as an awesome guy. I would hang out with him.
Yeah.
Totally.
Okay, I know most of your friends. It still falls in the same category. Okay. But the face of that he puts on for a lot of people, and the way he actually is quite different. He's not quite the asshole that he seems to be.
He's been cracking me up this last week. He's been clearing out his garage because he's putting in his own distillery because he's trying out new homebrews and he wanted to make a bigger still, or whatever you call it, whatever they use for homebrewing.
Yeah, when you get down to him personally, he's not nearly what he portrays.
But yeah, so for the last week or so, he's been cleaning out his garage, and he's finding all this old stuff that he had laying around from way back. I mean, he found some stuff from the late 80s. And he's been posting all these pictures on Twitter. Oh, I found this, check this out. And everybody's been telling him how awesome all that stuff is, to the point he's now decided that he's going to be auctioning off all this stuff soon and sending the money to charity.
Yeah, well, and that's what I'm saying. You know, he seems like that, but he sent that letter directly to you. He will talk to fans and people normally, and he's very big into charity work. You know, it just and there's some people that seem so nice and they're so wonderful, and people are so awesome, and they wouldn't give you the time of day if your pants were on fire. You know, they're just jerks.
What else is on here? I do like Tabletop. If you're into any of the Tabletop, any kind of board game type stuff, a lot of the things that we've talked about on the show have been on his show. It's on YouTube on the Geek and Sundry channel. And every couple weeks or so, they put up a new episode, and it's him with some celebrity guest stars, and they play a game and pick on the losers and cheer for the winners.
Get mad at his wife.
She got so excited one game because it was really close, and she pounded her fist on the table, and it knocked all of the pieces to the game they were playing over. And it was like a 2 or 3 hour game. It was a Ticket to Ride. So they were building you build these little trains on a map of North America. So when she hit it, she knocked all the trains over. Luckily, they had the video to reset it up to see who won, because they were all like freaking out that she wrecked the board.
Speaking of long games, what was it that you guys were playing the other night? You were playing Zombies, weren't you?
Zombies, yep. Well,
oh my god.
We bought 2
that
base...
game was, I am not kidding, longer than Monopoly, and I didn't think there was a game that was any longer than Monopoly.
We actually bought 2 base sets
that was terrible.
Of Zombies and combined them so that the game is longer.
Longer? I think you spent like 4 hours playing that game.
You're cracking up again. Stop redlining your mic. I'll turn you down.
Is that a threat?
Yes. Yeah, it was a rather long game.
I was just threatened.
What else did we play this week? We played that and Ascension. That was the other one we played.
I played Get the Christmas Shopping Done. Which, it's not even December yet, and I'm nearly finished.
I was finished with all of my holiday shopping last
year. You don't do holiday shopping.
Exactly.
And actually, you know what I'm doing right this moment?
Rapid.
No, because that's really noisy. I'm actually stitching a Christmas present. A crafting
What are you buying
project.
people broken Christmas presents for?
I'm making one.
Oh.
It's cross-stitch. And I know she doesn't listen to the show, so...
They're saying play Talisman someday. That game takes forever.
I don't know that one.
I want to play a game that when you're done, you go, damn it, next time I'm playing Monopoly. This takes too long.
I don't like long games. I get bored. After a while, I just get bored. And after a while, I'm just, you know what? You go ahead and win. I'm going to just throw myself under this bus because I've had enough.
I have too many windows open. What else? What else? What else? We got all sorts of stuff on here. I know you could care less, but there was a Heroclix holiday event for the Heroclix Online game. Love these little events. They've been doing them for every holiday. The normal game, for the board game, the company puts out these little print and play things, that little tokens and things you can add to the game to have some fun. And they started doing it in the online game. The only complaint I have is that in order to get them in the online game, you have to compete in one of the tournaments. And the way that they have their online tournament set up, you basically have to pay in order to play in them. Which I refuse to do because it's an online game. I'm the same way with that Magic the Gathering Tactics Online. I love the game, but I refuse to spend any money on it. So, I was kind of a little annoyed at that.
That's the one you play before bed?
That's Duel of the Planeswalkers. Tactics Online is the one that plays kind of like chess. You actually summon the monsters, and then you have to move them around the board, and they attack. And
I hate chess.
yeah, I've been playing Duel of the Planeswalkers a lot. The new Selesnya expansion there. Almost got it beat. I actually beaten the whole thing, but there's 5 new decks, and you basically have to beat the entire game 5 times to unlock everything, once with each deck. So I did it twice now, I think, so. On Magic, also participated in a Grand Prix qualifier for the Atlantic City Grand Prix last Saturday. 2 days ago. I actually did better than I thought I was going to.
I was going to say, did you win? Because, I'm your wife, I didn't know anything about it.
It was a modern event. I don't play modern. I used to play standard. Now I mostly play extended or legacy. Commander I play every week. But so modern was kind of a new thing for me to try. I used an old standard deck I had that rotated out a year ago. Made a couple changes. And actually won my second game. But I got eliminated. I ended up taking like 6th or 7th overall, which I think is pretty damn good considering I don't play that format. But the first place winner got a pass to the Grand Prix Atlantic City with a 3-round bye.
Oh, see, it wouldn't have done you any good to win anyway, because
I really couldn't afford to go to Atlantic City.
Yeah,
and with a 3-round bye.
You're not going anywhere without me, so.
And
because I want to go too.
Turns out the guy who won was the guy I played in the first round, so I didn't feel so bad about losing to him. I did beat him once. You play best 2 out of 3. I beat him once, so. It didn't help that the deck I was playing is very land dependent, and he was playing a mono blue deck that had at least 8 cards that I know of that were land destruction or removal. So the first round he completely just wiped out my lands and I couldn't do anything. The second round I kicked his butt, and the third round was pretty close. I think it came down he had 3 life left when he won. So it was really close.
I am over here nodding like I have any idea what you're talking about. Which,
very close.
By the way, looks very good on radio.
I'm just, like I said, happy I did as well as I did, and then when I found out he was the one who won, I really didn't feel that bad. And it turns out, not only did he win, this is the second Pro Tour Grand Prix qualifier that he's won.
I'm thrilled for you.
So, Anywho, I was proud of myself.
I'm proud of you too.
Playing an outdated deck.
I just don't tend to into the card games anymore. You know what it is? There's so much bouncing around in my head that I just can't remember.
You never got over Yu-Gi-Oh.
I couldn't even play Yu-Gi-Oh anymore. I used to be good. Used to be. You even admitted I was good.
You were. Way back.
Was. Oh, I couldn't.
When there was only 2 sets of cards to remember.
Yeah, exactly. Once you start getting all into that and it gets complicated, I am done. It takes too much brain power. You know what?
See, that's why you need to play Magic at the standard level, because standard only includes 4 sets of cards.
Nope.
At most 5.
That is 4 too many for me.
Alright. What else do we have? Oh, I was talking about Heroclix. Kind of got off track with the Magic thing. Heroclix released their new Batman set, and a big new event similar to the Infinity Gauntlet one that went on last year for Marvel. They're doing a Batman utility belt one for DC.
That just sounds kinky.
It is. But
Batman's utility belt.
Each of the new sets that are coming out over the next few months, the LE prizes include a suit that can be attached to the Batman utility belt to give you bonuses. And then each of the...
Wait. A suit to be attached to... Isn't the utility belt supposed to be attached to a suit?
You're cracking up again. Yeah, the suit... The first one is the Suit of Sorrows. And you can put it on. It's basically a different costume. And it gives your guy different stats depending on which costume you use. And then each month for the next 8 months, they're doing a tournament like they did with Infinity Gauntlet. And the winners, I think just for showing up, you get a item. The first month was gas pellets that can be equipped to the belt. And they give you different stats. Each month's a different item. There's a grappling line and things Batman uses. You can tell I don't do DC. I have no idea.
I'm Batman.
With the first set that came out, though, there was a couple new, cool new things. They brought vehicles into Heroclix for the first time. Action Clicks had them way back when, but that's a totally different game. Just uses the same bases. But, they had the Batmobile, the Batwing, Wonder Woman's invisible jet. There's a police car, a tank. Some cool stuff.
Is it invisible?
The tank is not invisible. The jet is.
The jet.
I think it would have been funny if they just gave you a dial.
Well, that's my thought.
They did that with, I can't think of who it was. Way back when there was a character, was it the Atom? It was one of them who could shrink. And they, in the box, they gave you just a blank dial. And it was, supposedly he shrunk so small you couldn't see him. It was a joke thing.
I think it's funny.
It was. But yeah, the vehicles are kind of cool.
You've got the kids into all that. Although I don't think they're into vehicles yet.
Yeah, they haven't gotten any. They're kind of expensive right now. But they're on slightly smaller bases than the giant colossal guys, but bigger bases than the guys on foot, like they should be. They have some cool powers. The other big thing they reintroduced, I guess they had it back in Hand of Thule. And they brought it back is what they call a God Booster. And the way the booster packs are normally set up, you get 5 random figures in a booster pack. They're blind, so you can't see what's in them. Then there's normally 10 boosters in a brick. In this set, there's 8 plus a vehicle. And then there's 2 bricks in a case. And from the descriptions I've heard, about 1 in every 5 cases has what they call a God Booster. And what it is normally you get 1 super rare to 1, or a couple super rares, or 1 chase per case. This is a booster pack of 5 figures, and every one of the 5 figures is one of the chases from the set. They're usually the figures that go for, I think one of them right now is going for about $60, and there's 5 of them in this one pack. And then they have another one, which is called a Prime Pack, which has a different type of figure in there that basically they're unique versions of certain characters. There's a Batman, a Catwoman, I can't remember the other couple. But there's a pack that has all four of the primes and then one extra figure in it. So again, they're like the two most sought after things, and they're about one every 5 cases or so. They opened 4 cases at our shop and nobody's gotten one yet.
I guess I should be happy you haven't gotten the kids into that yet.
How the heck do I block somebody?
Are you having issues?
Yeah. Wow. That was the cheesiest comeback ever. I caught somebody for being a spam bot and called them out on it. And their reply to me was, no, they're vegetarian, there's no spam for them. Alright. Welcome to Block. And it's not in-game, it's on my messenger.
Ah. I was going to say.
Well, I have a friend who just recently put me on Messenger, and I don't know their username, so I've been accepting requests. And, of course, half of them turn out to be spam bots.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway. What else do we got? We did Heroclix. How about the EQ2 stuff?
I cannot tell you the last time I logged into EQ2.
Boo.
I know, right?
I haven't really logged into play as much.
Well, see, my problem is, this time of year, my gaming goes down anyway.
Yep.
Because it's holiday, and I am so busy trying to get everything organized, between shopping and presents and, making sure everything's just right and wrapping and family get-togethers, and I'm, working more hours, tons of hours. I have a girl who left today for maternity leave. I've got another one who's pregnant. So we're constantly changing shifts, covering shifts.
What's
so,
in the water where you work?
Oh, I know, it's terrible. They say it comes in 3s, so we're waiting for one more. But, so, we've got all this going on, and I've got my own guild and Guild Wars 2 that I'm running and really enjoying playing the game. And then I've got Guild Wars, then I've got EQ2. My gaming at this time of year usually goes down anyway because I'm so busy, let alone the fact that now I've got 2 games I'm trying to split between. So unfortunately, when I had to make a choice between Guild War 2 and EQ2, EQ2 took more of the hit.
Yeah, I've definitely been playing Guild Wars 2 more, but I've been logging into EQ2 because a friend of mine and I are decorating a new guild hall. So I've been helping out with that.
That's one of the major things that I miss in Guild Wars 2 is... Well, there's a couple things I miss that I prefer in EQ2. I would like custom channels.
I heard that housing is something that's on the table that might be a possibility.
That's what I've heard. And housing, because I enjoy a private area. A lot of times I do not like... I'm an RP addict. I will admit that. I love RP. But there's a lot of times that I don't care to do it publicly. I'm a little more self-conscious and not nearly as open and free with my character as I would like to be if I'm standing in the middle of a place with a ton of people that I don't know. It's difficult for me. And Curel is in our IRC channel saying, Frostfell's coming. Honestly...
Death to Frostfell. Oh, wait. I never much cared for Frostfell to start with.
Yeah, I have to say, we are not big on the holidays.
Depends on the holiday.
Yeah. Well, we are not big on.
I'm not big on the whole December time of year. I'd
Yeah.
be happy if the year ended at Halloween and started up again in like February.
Yeah, so I mean, it's unfortunately, I know it's fabulous for a lot of people, and I'm really happy for you, but it's not something that we tend to get into that much. And honestly, if we didn't have children, we probably wouldn't get into it at all.
It's true.
So I can't even say really that Frostfell thrills me. For the first time in 7 years, 6 years, I was not there for the holiday events in EQ2 with Knights of the Dead.
I actually did a few of them, but not nearly as many. Normally I do everything every year, but this year we've kind of switched on into a new game, and
Yeah, not at all, which it even surprised me.
now I do have some friends who have come back to EQ2, and because of the new expansion, they've moved on, they found a new guild, and they're actually having a blast now.
I have quite a few people who are trying to persuade me to come back.
I think I can mention, because I don't think anybody listening will have any idea who I'm talking about, but you will. But Peter, a friend of ours who recently returned to the U.S., is back living with his wife not too far from us, and they've gotten back into playing. They found themselves a new guild, and they were all excited that within 2 weeks of the new launch, they managed to max out characters. They're out, it's only the second time ever they've had max level characters, and they're going out with their new guild. They're checking out the new dungeons, and they're having a blast with it.
Yeah, I've considered it right now. I'm having a difficult time trying to split up between games and life and.
Yeah, like I said, other than helping out with the guild hall, I don't think I've really logged in to that game anyway. I've been playing like 20 different games though.
Yeah, you do. I can't.
World of Tanks has been doing a couple things. They had a really cool promotion last weekend. Gave us all a free day of premium again. Sales on stuff all weekend long. So I played that. I've got another friend who's really heavily into that, so I play every now and then with him. But yeah, the reason I brought up EQ2 to start with was that the Heroes Festival is currently going on. No, it isn't. It starts tomorrow. Sorry. My bad. Yeah, it starts 11/27 and runs through December 11th. I'm not sure what all they did. I know they added a bunch of events last year for the Heroes Festival. I'm curious to see if they bring back the time portals.
Zajan says it's going on right now.
Oh, see? Well, that's what I get for listening to Sony. Sony says it doesn't start till tomorrow, so.
And he says, yes, the time portals are in.
Sweet. I might have to go check those out then, because they were fun.
He says, wait, never mind, no time portals.
Make up your mind! The Chrono Portal events was something completely different, but one year they did them on top of Heroes Festival, or very close to it, so I thought maybe they would bring them back.
Well, I swatted him earlier. Apparently, I need to swat him harder. Misinformation.
Yeah, stop that. Stop ruining everything. Okay.
It would take more than that.
But Frostfell does start on the 13th of December, runs through the 10th of January. There are people out there who are really interested in that stuff, so there you go. Our good old friend Lyra. Lara, sorry. I always say it wrong. I heard Lara took off her Frostfell hat.
That's the rumor.
I want pictures.
I saw him take it off in Vegas.
No, I stole it in Vegas. I got chased around for a couple days for that. What else do I have on here? I have this like 2-page long thing. Oh yeah, this is kind of old and outdated news again, but something that was from last week's show notes was there's been a few videos over the last year or two going around online of a marching band who does video game related themes.
Yep, I watched that with you.
I think there's actually a couple different ones now, but the one that's more popular, I'm not sure if they're the one that started this, so somebody will yell at me, I'm sure. But they're the more popular one that has more of them, is Ohio State. And they've done a couple really cool gaming-related shows. I guess it's a halftime show during their college games. And
They're good.
yeah, there was one that had Tetris and Super Mario and everything else in Mortal Kombat. There was a more recent one. That was the one that you watched with me. I don't even remember what all was in it. I do have the link somewhere. I'll stick them in the show notes. If I can get my show note links to work. I couldn't get them to work last week. It's being picky. But, yeah, they play the music and they do the formations. So if you're up in the grandstands watching, they make all these different shapes and symbols and things from the games. And it's really cool to watch. And I've seen a few lesser shows from a few other bands. But theirs seem to be the biggest and the best.
Yeah, they were pretty neat. Even the kids really enjoyed it.
What else do we have? I do that a lot. Oh, I have a question this week. You said you had a question this week, too.
I don't remember it.
You're supposed to write these things down.
I know, but I was in the car when I said it.
Well, this question is for as much for us as our live listeners as our recorded listeners. We want to hear your input on it too.
Oh, my input's never too good.
So now this has come up a few times now between me and a couple friends and online conversations and things. But the big thing is gaming nowadays is kind of split down the middle between PC and console. And my question is, why do some developers neglect the growing PC gaming market? A lot of things seem to be going back to consoles. And the obvious reason is it's slightly harder to pirate games for consoles. That's the only real one I can think of. And it might be a little bit easier to develop for consoles since everyone has the same hardware. Whereas with the PC, you've got to develop for people who have NVIDIA software. You got to develop for people who have ATI. You got to develop for, Intel. You got to develop for AMD. So it might be a little bit more difficult, but it seems to me, at least from my experience, that there are more gamers online on PC than there are on consoles these days. Yet the developers keep making more and more games console only. So what do you think?
We switched from the console, although we have console for the kids, we switched to the PC and we haven't gone back. Most of the stuff that I like are on console, or on PC. Now, granted, we started with console. I think with console you get a broader audience. More of your kids who really are your target area, I think, are console.
Well, the big thing that brought it up between me and a friend of mine was Halo 4, which we talked about last show, because it had just come out. I really liked the first Halo. I liked the story, I liked the game. I played it on the PC. Halo 2 came out. It was Xbox only. Played a little bit on the Xbox and got annoyed and never finished it. Halo 3 came out for the Xbox. Reach came out for the Xbox. Halo 4 came out. And there's something else in between there I'm missing. Halo Wars. But yeah, Halo Reach came out. Halo 3 came out. Halo 4 came out. All for the Xbox. Where's the PC love? And it's one thing for certain games like that where it makes a big difference too.
I think consoles overall are easier.
That's a depend. And with a first-person shooter, I think they're actually harder because you have to use that god-awful controller. For some reason, the console market hasn't caught on to the fact that you can use a mouse and a keyboard.
Well,
Despite
I'm
the
not,
fact
I'm
that
not saying easier that way because you can hook a controller right up to your computer and do it.
Despite the fact that I
I'm
had a
talking
mouse
easier
for my Super Nintendo, 15 years ago? Why can I not have a mouse for my Xbox 360 or my PlayStation 3?
What I'm saying is, though, I think it's easier to market and find your target, your target consumer on console than it is on PC. And with console games, you have the fact that okay, so I've put out this PS3 game. It can only be played on the PS3. Now you have to buy my system to play this game. And if you've bought my system, you're going to buy all my other games too. PC, doesn't matter who makes it.
Yeah, but then again, Microsoft is one of the big names in the console market right now. They pretty much the big name in the PC market as well.
No, they've branched out to both. But you know what? They're getting the money rather than it, with console. It just seems it's very you have your choices. Xbox, PS3. You're not going to buy a PS3 game for your Xbox. If you already have an Xbox, you're going to lean towards Xbox games.
Yeah, but a handful of the bigger developers make everything for both anyway. I mean, there's very few that are exclusive anymore. They do exist. I mean, Microsoft makes their own games. Sony makes their own games. But the majority of your third-party developers make things for both systems anyway. Or heck, all three. What annoys me is the I can understand in certain games the way they're programmed, they're just not compatible. What annoys me is, like, I play that Magic Duel of the Planeswalkers, which is a card game. It uses a video game interface, but for all intents and purposes, it's just a card game. And they make it for the Xbox, they make it for the PS3, they make it for the PC, but for some reason you can't play against each other with it, even though it's just a simple card game.
Yeah, there has to be a reason.
Oh, the reason is none of them want to share their netcode with the other companies. Because in order to make it compatible, you would have to do this and this to the game to make it work with their system because of the way they program and such, and nobody wants to give the competition their information. But it's just silly. People are going to play what they want. I don't care how many... They always have these exclusive games. Oh, you have to buy this because you can only get it on Xbox, so you have to go buy an Xbox to play it. In my case, I'll say, okay, I just won't play it. I'm not going to go out and buy a $300 system to play a game just because they only want to release it for one system. And I know there are people out there who will. God, how many people bought into Xboxes just to play the Halo series?
And that's it, I think.
But yeah, you get more and more of these games that are coming out that are only console only. They're trying to get you to buy the system just because it's the only way you can play this game. And I'm just curious as how many people else have the same attitude I do and say, well, if that's the case, I just won't play the game. And they're losing sales. I don't know, maybe I'm just weird.
Well, we knew that.
Did you remember what your question was?
Nope.
Of course you didn't.
Nope. 2 seconds after we go off air, I'll remember it. I know I will.
Oh, I've got things coming in from like 5 different windows here.
I do too.
The one website I go to for Heroclix, it's a great resource. They have all sorts of information on there. But they have a bug in their forum systems, and it drives me nuts. And it comes and goes. They've fixed it a few times, and then it comes back. But basically, you can follow a topic on the forums. Tons of forums have the same feature, just call it something different. And every time a post is made, it notifies you. Well, you can set it up so that you only get one post at the end of each day, where it tells you this many posts were made today, and gives you a link. And it's supposed to give you one email and say, 20 posts were made in this thread. But for some stupid reason, it gives you a post every time. And it's not even really that. It's completely random. Like, there'll be one post in a thread, and you'll get 30 emails saying, hey, somebody posted in that thread. And, of course, I'm subscribed to half a dozen threads, so I end up with like 100 emails telling me there's been 4 posts all day.
I would get really ticked off because...
Oh, I know.
Well, my email is set up to my phone. So every time I get an email, my phone rings. That would drive me insane. It's bad enough that I have now blocked my own grandmother from sending me email because the woman has to send messages to 50 people and they all hit reply all, and I get it too. So I mean, it's bad enough that I've now had to block my own grandmother, but that would drive me insane.
Yeah, I've slowly been removing my subscriptions to threads, so they stop. But yeah, we'll complain about it, and they fix it, and then it happens again. Holy crap! Hound is in the IRC. Is that our Hound?
That I was just wondering. It very well could be. I did post it on Facebook. It is.
And I think I'm being attacked.
Not by me.
You type for a minute.
See, I'm smart. I'm just sitting in town. But I'm getting like 300 messages.
I was out in the middle of nowhere. And I think I just deleted something I wanted to keep. Stupid thing. Yeah, I'm out in the middle of nowhere. I didn't want to run all the way back to town. And I'm still getting emails. Yeah, 10 o'clock's when it starts sending them out.
Hound said that's his biggest gripe, that, he'd play the Halo games if they were on PC. You would do the same thing, but, frankly, I don't think you need any more games to play.
Well, now that we got Hound around here, what's he think of, Mechwarrior Online? That's going to be coming out here soon. The beta for that's dwindling down.
I know quite a few people who have messed around with it. I have not gotten the chance myself.
I'm very interested in it. I was doing good, and when the last wave of beta entrants got put in, they reset everything again. And I was like just shy of having enough to buy the mech I wanted, and now I had to start over, so I've kind of been slacking off on it. Because I know it's a beta, so it's going to get wiped one more time when it goes live, so I really just don't want to put a lot of effort into it.
I'm going to have to bring Hex back to drive.
I don't think they have a Marauder yet.
I can't make baby?
Yeah, I don't think they ever actually have a Marauder in it yet. It's pre-Clan Wars, so it's all pre-Clan tech.
I need Baby Boom back.
I was stoked when they put a Raven in.
I will take my old call sign back, and I want to drive my Baby Boom.
They're supposed to be going in real time, so that right now you're just prior to the Clan War, so about next spring or so will be Clan War time. the clan invasion, and then not too long after the clan invasions when you're going to see all the mixed tech stuff.
Maybe I'll have time to play by then.
So yeah, it won't be too long before we get into clan tech. Then I can get my my Euler back.
I say maybe we can get some of our own old team back together.
The iconic Timberwolf or Mad Cat.
Okay, and I'm being picked on for Baby Boom.
I thought you called her Bertha.
I had Bertha too. There was Bertha and there was Baby Boom.
Mine was called Sheila.
Because I always called her Baby, and she had a hell of a boom. There's nothing like a LBX-10 in the face.
Lone Wolf saying 2 years, but according to the in-game clock, if they go by real time, the clan invasion should happen next spring. Because according to their in-game clock, it's 30:49 right now. So who knows?
They're saying the Marauder's being held up by copyright issues.
Probably it's one of the unseens, I believe.
I will throw a tantrum.
Oh, they had a Warhammer in the original trailer for the game, and the Warhammer's an unseen mech too, so...
I would stomp my feet, but I am in an awful lot of pain with this cold weather and my recent surgery. So, I will throw myself to the floor and have me a tantrum. I want my Marauder.
Yeah, the whole unseen, reseen, silly copyright thing that's been going on for 30 years now, they need to just give the whole thing up.
I want it.
What all started over, it was an artist who designed mechs for both Robotech and Battletech, and he designed almost identical things for both companies. So for close to 30 years now, they've been fighting back and forth who owns the copyrights to them, since they both paid the artist and they both got the drawings. It's been a huge issue. That's why they were never added to the old Mechwarrior games. We didn't get them until MechTech started making the non-for-profit expansions for us, and they put them all in because they didn't have to worry about copyright.
Yep.
No, I'm happy I got my Raven. There's 2 different actual stock variants you can buy. There's 3 different, actually, with different hard points. One of them is more light battle mech, where the other is more of a scout mech, and the other one's kind of in between. The scout mech one's cool. It's got all the ECM package and all that stuff. Stealthy little thing that nips at your ankles. And no, I have not had a chance to play with the WII U yet. In fact, I have never even played a Wii.
This is true, you haven't.
I've seen one. Never had any interest in it.
I did a wee dance today. Does that count?
I saw the commercials for the Wii U, and as interesting as the concept looks, I can't see using that ridiculously oversized controller that basically looks like you're holding an iPad in your hands. And they're advertising, one of their selling points is that, you know, if somebody wants to watch TV, you can turn the channel and you can just keep playing on this paddle. It's not a paddle, it's a freaking iPad. People complained when the Xbox came out that the Xbox controllers were huge. This thing's like 10 times the size of one of those. It looks ridiculous. It's an interesting concept, but not my kind of thing. Want to make it interesting? Get yourself a pair of those Google glasses with the TV screens in them and just plug that in. Then you can walk around and play, you know, while you're walking around, walk out into traffic, get back in a car, save the world a problem. Oh, did I say that out loud? What was the other thing we were looking at? Oh, your uncle brought it up to me. This, X-47B drone that the military's testing.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, it's relevant to the show because drones, as far as I'm concerned, are the world's most expensive video games. You sit at a big console with all your buttons and switches and monitors, and you get to fly a radio-controlled plane, shoot missiles at people. This new X-47 that they're testing, X-47B it's called, is basically fully automated. And they program the thing with a mission, and it basically takes off, does the mission, blows up the target, flies back, radios for landing coordinates, and lands. All by itself. And they're having this big ordeal, basically, where people are arguing over whether the fact that a computer has the should have the ability to fire live munitions without humans telling it to.
I see all sorts of issues with it.
Well, the example they gave, which was pretty straightforward, was so a fighter comes in to do its attack run, lines up on the building it's supposed to blow up, and just then a school bus pulls up out front. Now, a pilot would say, well, let's make sure there's no kids on that. Would abort the run, make a second run to verify or whatnot. The computer's going to say, that's a target, fire. And, whether it be a real school bus or just a decoy, the fact is you don't know, and it's going to shoot anyway, because that's what it was told to do.
But you know what? Has anyone realized the more intelligent we make our computers, the stupider we get?
True. Just look at anybody who has a smartphone. Oh, wait.
You have a smartphone.
So do you.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, there's a huge ordeal over that. And my thought is, you know what? That's just one step farther until we get to Skynet.
Exactly.
There was actually a movie a few years back that I brought up when I was talking to your uncle about it. And it was a similar theory where there was a computer-controlled AI. It flew I think it was like an F-22 or something similar. And it basically went AWOL on them trying to complete this mission because it saw a different way to complete the mission than everybody else did. And they ended up trying to shoot it down in the end. And it took an entire fighter squadron to chase this thing down because they made it so it couldn't be shot down. That's all I could think of when I saw the article on this thing.
I think a lot of that stuff's a bad idea.
It does look pretty cool, though. It's like a real tiny version of the B-2 bomber. Oh, I think I've gotten through most of my list here.
And Hound's yelling at you.
Why?
Because he has a smartphone. He graduated from college.
South Canadian University. So that's like elementary school. He knows how to drink Labatt's, play hockey, and say A. And I've just insulted like half of the North American listeners.
Yes, you did. That's great. That's just great.
Hey, I like Canada. In fact, if Mitt Romney won the election, I was actually looking on how to become a citizen.
I'm thinking it doesn't matter who won. Frankly, we got problems.
No, I refuse to say elementary. It's elementary. I'm not English. I speak American. He's yelling at me because he said I mispronounced it. I don't say aluminium or advertisements anymore either. Advertisement, that's what it is. What's coming up that we're looking forward to? I had stuff written down on a calendar.
I'm actually looking forward to see what Guild Wars comes up with for Christmas.
We had a cool Halloween event, so.
Yeah, it was. You know what? I think I think my biggest problem with Guild Wars or with EQ2 right now is the fact that I think it kind of falls under been there, done that.
Well, here's the question: Is there a
Guild
holiday?
Wars 2 right now is newer.
Is there a holiday in Tyria this time of year?
I think there will be, only because I don't think they're going to let the opportunity pass of a real life holiday. I don't think they're going to let the opportunity pass of a real life holiday and not have something in game. And I think that's probably about the only reason they'll do it.
I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what they come up with for Guild Wars 2 for the first real expansion.
Or when.
Or when. Well, I would think about a year. That seems to be the norm. Definitely looking...
I don't mind things the way they are right now.
Definitely looking forward to getting my hands on a Defiance beta. If and when that ever happens.
I'm not sure that's going to happen. I'm very interested in taking a look at the game, though.
The TV show's coming out in April, I think.
Now, does the TV show start first, or does the game start first?
As far as I know, the game's supposed to start first. And then the show follows. And then things that basically happen... Certain events in the show are going to be reflected in the game. Certain things that happen in the game are going to be reflected in the show. It's kind of an interesting toss back and forth because they've been talking about this for a while, how things are going to affect each other. But the fact of it is, when you have a TV show, they film the TV show, 6 months to a year or so in advance. So to make changes in the show based on things that happen in the game are going to be really rough on the writers.
Yeah, I'm interested to see them pull this off.
I don't see it being major issues. I see it being like an expansion to the game comes out with some new weapons. And next season in the show, you see them using those weapons, saying, hey, the guys over here invented these, or things like that. Some quotes or events, a big battle happens in the show, and the NPCs in the game are going to start making references to the battle in St. Louis. That kind of thing. But, yeah, it's interesting to see how they're going to do it. Everybody out there who listens probably knows who Domino is. She goes by the name Pentapod now. She is their producer over there for the video game Defiance. Hopefully, when we get a little closer, we can kidnap her and get her on the show. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Okay, but I'm not tying her up.
We'll lure her in with some Marmite.
Well, you certainly can't lure her in with cookies. She's the one usually doing the baking and making them.
I know, everybody else got really cool cookies for the holidays. We didn't get anything from her. I'm upset. We'll have to send her something.
I don't know if she'd trust anything coming from you.
What else was that? There was something else coming out soon that I was looking forward to. They've been doing Wizardry Online beta invites. They've been giving those things out like candy. That is the one with the permadeath?
They might be giving out like candy, but they're not giving it to me.
Did you apply?
I did.
Oh. Brass has actually been handing them out on Twitter, left and right. She's been asking questions, and people answer the question in a reply to her Twitter, and she sends them keys. They've been doing the whole thing for the last couple weeks.
I stopped using Twitter.
Well, that's your problem. The rest of the world
uses Facebook.
Yeah, I don't use Facebook. I refuse to use FaceBase on the principle of the thing. I'm one of the dozen people who use Google Plus in the world. That's pretty much everything I had on my list. Hound is asking what server we're playing on.
We're in Tarnished Coast.
I could never remember. I've been to the Zone Tarnished Coast. And they're laughing at Google Plus. He says people still use it. Actually, quite a few of us still do. Personally, since all of the businesses decided to start using Facebook, I am so sick of it that I just refuse to use it, and that's part of the reason I use Google Plus, because it hasn't been taken over by businesses yet.
Yeah.
I mean, even Twitter got invaded by businesses. You see Taco Bell, follow us on Twitter. You're like, really? Or Taco Bell, come see our Facebook. McDonald's has a Facebook page. Walmart has a Facebook page.
Everywhere has one.
Yeah, so I refuse to do Facebook.
Yeah. I have my stuff filtered properly.
I'll stick with the lesser of two evils. And I'm happy. I've got quite a decent following, and there's a lot of people I know on there, so. You know what? Felicia Day and Wil Wheaton use Google+. So does the producer of Planetside 2. Excuse me. Heck, half the SOE dev team is on Google+.
Drives me nuts you can't target yourself in Guild Wars 2.
Sure you can. Just use an AoE. I think that's about it. I hate to cut things short again. Especially after we skipped an extra week.
We're not really all that short.
Trying to think of what other things are coming up here soon.
I don't know. They haven't announced anything for Guild Wars 2. Actually, you know what? I had one other thing for Guild Wars 2.
Sure.
They did a Black Friday sale for Guild Wars 2. They put the Digital Deluxe edition on sale.
Yeah.
Well, if you already own the game, normally you can pay the difference and get the upgrade.
Yeah.
You couldn't do that and get the sale price.
I didn't look at that because they.
I did because I want.
Because the normal upgrade price is 2,000 gems.
Well, I wanted at least one of the upgrades, but I don't want to pay. I got excited when they had it on sale because I figured I'd get a better deal on it, but they did not offer the sale for. It was only new accounts. It wasn't the difference between. It was the whole game. I was not thrilled with that.
Yeah, the digital.
I would have bought it.
How much was it?
I forget now. I believe it's probably still on sale.
Because the digital upgrade from normal to deluxe is 2,000 gems. But that's the normal price. That's been in the upgrade section since we started.
Yeah, it wasn't on sale, and I wanted it.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anything's on sale right now.
Yeah, it could be just the Black Friday, and it's still stuck up in the news because no other news has come up.
That and these holidays are killing the market on gems. It's one thing we didn't have to worry about in EQ2. In this, it can be good, it can be bad, it all depends on the market. But the equivalent of station cash in Guild Wars 2 is called gems, and the gem market is not a set price. It's a set price for cash. If you were to buy, a card, you could get a, 1,000 gem card or whatnot at the store and redeem it. But in game, the gem value to gold value varies day to day. It's actually based on a real market, supply and demand.
Yep.
And with these holiday events that have been going on, they've been having some cool appearance items and things in the marketplace. So people have been buying up gems left and right. When we first started, you could get a gem, what was it, 100 gems for about 25, 26 silver. Currently, they are going for an average of 98 silver for 100 right now. So it's almost quadrupled in price. If it ever goes back down...
Yeah, I'm waiting for it to go back down. And then I'm considering playing the market.
Which you can do.
Just to see how I do.
Yeah, because if you were to buy a ton of gems when they were 26 silver back in the day and now sell them for 98 silver for the same amount, you'd be making back 3 to 4 times your money.
That was my thought.
And it does seem to fluctuate depending on the holidays. Right before Halloween, it was way down again. It was down in the 30s, I think. And then between the live event there and the Halloween event, it skyrocketed again. It's an interesting system, though.
Oops.
Oops, what?
I'm stitching.
Ah.
My thread pulled completely through.
That's not supposed to happen.
No, it just makes it a pain in the hiney for me. Well, I gotta do something while we're while we're on the show. And if I don't get this project done by Christmas, I'm gonna be upset.
Yeah, while we got Hound out there, something I had talked about with a couple guys over email. A couple years back, a few years now, I ran a online racing league for Mechwarrior. It was a mod to Mechwarrior 4. And it got pretty popular. We had our own league going. We ended up having like 4 different leagues with different prizes and different events. And it was a lot of fun. The site got hacked and things kind of went downhill and it never really got back together afterward. And a couple of the guys were talking to me and we were contemplating putting it back together. Not the entire league, but just like a day once a month or something to have a bunch of us get together and do a few races for old time's sakes, just for fun. And, you know, bring life back into the old game. That sort of thing.
I don't even think my computer can run it.
You can. Your calculator can run it.
Well, and that's the problem I think we had the last time we tried to load it on my computer. We did an upgrade with my computer, and I don't think... I think it tries to run the game too fast or something.
Oh, there's ways
I
around
thought...
it.
Yeah, I
I've got
thought
it
we...
installed on mine.
Okay, I thought we had a major issue with it.
I've got it installed on mine, and the only major difference between ours is you have an 8-core and I have a 6-core. You and your beastly machine. He's saying he doesn't have his disc. You don't need your discs anymore, actually. It became open source a couple years ago. And MechTech, the site who is making the free add-on mods, has a complete downloader. You can go to their site and download the entire game for free with their 3 full expansions and all their updates and all the map packs. And the only thing you need is the racing map pack that we have, which I gotta find a place to host. But, yep, you no longer need the disc to play. You don't need the disc to download it. So anybody else who's out there interested, it was a really fun game. The graphics are obviously dated. I believe the original game was from '98.
I wonder... we'll have to talk to Leo and see if...
Yeah, I might be able to stick it on the OGR site.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just something for fun, for old time's sake. Get a few of us together, and anybody else who's interested, it's a very interesting game. It's a first or third person shooter type game, but it's very slower paced than your average first person shooter because you are in a mech. And the big thing is you get to customize it. So you get to balance out speed, armor, you know, different weapon loadouts, heat values. So there's a lot of tweaking.
Y'all can come play on my map.
There you go. Hex made it, or Zan. She went by the name Hex back then. You got me talking about Mechwarrior. You're Hex now. But yeah, Zan made I think you made 2 maps.
I made 2, yes. Psychedelic Star was my...
And Druid's Pass.
My big one, though. Yep, and I made Druid's Pass.
And I made, I believe, 12. And then a buddy of ours, Richard Victory, made 4 or 5. And I couldn't tell you who made the rest. Jehoshaphat made one. And somebody from the Timberliners made a couple. But anyway, yeah, we still have all the maps, all the scripting, everything needed to play. So it's just a matter of getting some people and getting the game out there. Like I said, the graphics are not the greatest in the world, but it never was about the graphics anyway.
Yeah, graphics don't make a game.
Exactly, so
They're a bonus.
I'll put a link to some of that stuff in the show notes, and people can go check it out. The single-player campaign was kind of fun, too. Kind of limited what you can do, though, because you can only use certain equipment until you came across it in the single-player. Where when you play multiplayer, you basically have access to everything, and you can mix and match and do whatever you want. But we did have a patch at one point, which I don't think comes with the game. You'd have to look it up separately, that actually lets you play multiplayer in the campaign. And that was a lot of fun. We used to use it for training, teaching new players how to play, because you could go through the entire single-player campaign by doing, basically having, instead of NPC wingmen following you along, you would actually have your friends.
Yeah, I remember doing that, but there was an issue with it.
It had a few bugs.
A few bugs to the point it locked up, I believe.
That's what happens when people take a 10-year-old game and try to build it to do something it was never designed to do.
Yeah, really.
Anyway, we've rambled on about that enough. I know Brass from SOE, Brass the Dwarf there, was a huge Mechwarrior fan. I've been trying to get her to come play that with us for a long time now.
I know a couple who did not play before, who were big ones.
They're also big Magic players at SOE, and I can never get any of them to play. I've been trying to get them to play online. Been trying to get them to play. When we went to Vegas, I even took Dex with me and challenged a few. I did get to play a couple games the one year in Vegas, but... Alright. I think we're done for this week. We'll get Zan to actually write some stuff down, because she thinks of all this stuff in between shows. Oh, we should talk about this, we could talk about this, and then she never writes it down, and then comes showtime, she's like, I don't have anything.
What's funny, my problem is I never have any paper with me when I think of these things, and...
You have a phone?
If I'm home or anything, I'm usually driving. And if I'm home, I've got Post-it notes and stuff that I stick everywhere.
So I find a lot of times if I think of something and I'm not at home, I will text it to myself. Or save it as a draft.
Well, my phone is very close by right now. I'm on baby duty. I'm still waiting for the baby call.
Did you stick a fork in her?
Oh, believe me, she's done. For those who are wondering what the heck we're talking about, I have a friend at work who I sent her home today because she was not feeling well. She is due for a little boy any day now, and I wondered if she'd even last the rest of the night. She is so pregnant. The poor thing is feeling miserable. I had to help her today because she couldn't even bend over to pick something off the floor. She's so big. So I'm sitting by my phone because when she goes into labor, I get a phone call. And no baby yet. My estimated guess before we realized when her due date and how she was going to do is actually Wednesday. So if she makes it to Wednesday and she has him on Wednesday, I win. So. She poor thing, she could hold off a little bit longer, but I don't think she wants to. She's ready to burst now.
You should post everybody your superhero's picture. There's a story behind that one, too. But...
I almost bought them capes. I almost did.
I can't remember if we talked about that in the show.
I don't think so, but you know, and I text a friend of mine about that, and I text him. I sent him a picture first, and later that evening to explain what I had said. And I texted him from work, and I told him, I says, "Oh my God, there is nothing like a pregnant woman in spandex." And he says, out of all the things I ever expected to hear come out of your mouth and be texted to me, that wasn't one of them. We were laughing hysterically hard because this extremely pregnant woman got it in her head, for some odd reason, to put this spandex bodysuit on that we had found. And it was an absolute riot. And just so she didn't feel alone, as we were all laughing hysterically, because she looked humongous, even worse than usual. One of our other friends put on a two-piece spandex outfit. And they looked so funny, and it did get posted on Facebook. And she says to me, "We're superheroes. Look at our outfits. We look like superheroes. We're wearing spandex." So I offered, now of course these are both my employees, so I offered to buy them capes. And I found them at Halloween. I found capes, and I almost brought them into work and made them put them on so I could take another picture. Oh, we laughed so hard. I believe it took two of us to get her back out of this cat suit.
I thought it was entertaining.
Oh, and to make it even better, it was it fluorescent pink?
One was like pink and one was orange, wasn't it?
No, one was yellow.
Yellow.
Yep. The cat suit was bright, like neon pink, and the other one was fluorescent yellow.
It was entertaining.
Yeah, the things that I will have to tell, she's naming the baby Credence. The things that I will have to tell Credence when he gets old enough. Do you know what your mother did? And I could talk about it because I know she doesn't listen to the show. She's not a gamer.
Blasphemy. Now you can no longer have her as a friend.
She's too busy being big as a beach ball. Overinflated beach ball. Poor girl. But yeah, there's definitely something in the water at my work, because I've got another one who's pregnant, and they say it comes in 3, so we're all making guesses.
If you're getting that out of the water,
making guesses on
disturbing.
Yeah, we're making guesses on who's next, because it comes in 3s, and we've got 2, so we got 1 more to go. All I know is I'm out of the running. That's okay with me.
It'll be Barb.
That's just not even right.
Alrighty. I think we've rambled on enough. I gotta find my stuff. Why can't I get my program to come up?
You know it's going to be like a 2 a.m. text.
Probably.
I told her I didn't care what time. So yeah, I'm sure 2 in the morning I finally get to sleep and the phone's going to go off.
Alright, well, now that we're on a different schedule because things have changed, our next show will be December 10th. You know, with our new schedule, it puts us on Christmas Eve.
I don't believe we can do a show Christmas Eve. I don't believe we're going to be home.
I'll do it because I'm not doing anything. Haha.
So says you.
Anyway, our next show is going to be on December 10th, which is a Monday, 2 weeks from now. You can join us then. We'll have all sorts of goodies to talk about. Hopefully some little more inside information. We're getting closer to the end of the year. All these betas are ending, which means NDAs are lifting. Cool things to talk about.
I believe I have us a guest for next week, or for next show. And Hound's offering to co-host with you.
Yeah, the only guest we've actually had since we started, of course, was a friend of ours who canceled on us at last minute. So.
Yeah, he got stuck at work.
I guess we could do it this way. If you'd like to do a show next week to get us back on the old schedule.
We'll see.
But I kind of like to let people know.
You're asking me to make a split-second decision. I don't know.
Yes, I am.
Right this minute.
Alright, so we may have one on the 3rd. Get us back on our normal schedule. Who knows? At the very least, we'll be back in 2 weeks with all our fun stuff. I gotta remember what buttons to push again. We gotta find a new broadcasting software. If anybody out there knows about really cool, cheap, affordable broadcasting software, the one I was looking at cost like $3,000, and yeah, that's not gonna happen ever. The one we're using actually is outdated. It's from 2006. But yeah, I'd like to have something a little more user-friendly with less buttons. Alright, we will see everybody in a week or two. Thanks for tuning in. Have any shout-outs?
I'll say hi to everybody in Guild Wars 2.
And the Phoenix colon?
Yeah, they still haven't fixed that. We finally just said, yeah, it makes it unique. So, yeah. And we prefer to consider ourselves Colion.
Right.
Thank you very much. You can be a colon if you want. We're going to be a Colion.
And we'll see everybody next show. Have fun, keep gaming, and we'll see you then.